of beautiful Democrats like you all, and nothing makes me happier. It's one of the great joys of my life. I know who you all are, even though I've just met some of you. I know who you all are because you're solid Democrats. You are pro-equality Democrats. You are people who fight in the trenches every single day. You face unimaginable things. And I want you to know that we love that about you. We support you in that. And I want you to know that our staff works day in and day out because of people like you here, just like here in San Antonio. So thank you so very much for the very great work that you do here in San Antonio. I want to give a very special thank you to you for loaning Olga Hernandez to us to be on our board. The first time I met Olga, it was, I knew we would be friends forever, right? Because Olga just has that way about her, right? And I knew from talking with other board members and former staff and stuff, like, you're going to love Olga. And that is in fact the case. I love Olga, and I love Lynn as well. So thank you so much for inviting me and making sure that I was here. You may notice a very large pin on my lapel. Last night we got together for dinner with some folks, and Dan came, and in an envelope he handed me this pin that was Roberto's. And I remember that Roberto had this pin on when I met him in Houston for the first time. And as you know, having met Roberto, it was love at first sight. I don't normally wear big pins like this. I'm a big queen in many ways, but I don't wear big pins like this. But this pin is so precious to me, so thank you, Dan. Thank you very much. And the thing about this pin I want you to know is that it reminds me how proud I am to be a Democrat. So it can be twice as big and I don't care. Although it may not match what I'm wearing, but that's all right. So I wanted to just point out a nomenclature change, and I love saying that word, from chapter to affiliate. And that's a decision we made as a staff. We ran it by our board. In January, we talked about it at our national convention a couple months ago in Washington, D.C., and it was approved by our leadership council. And I know that sounds like a small thing to say, okay, we're not going to call you chapters, we're going to call you affiliates. But I want to let you know why we did that. With my coming on board at the organization, one of the things that struck me is that we don't tell y'all what to do. I hope that you tell us what to do. I want to be a support to you all. I want to make sure that our affiliates have what they need to be successful on the ground, because this is where the power is. It's not with me in Washington. We've got a tiny little office up there. We have a great little staff. I sometimes get to talk to the paper. People think I'm important. I'm really not. Y'all are important. This is where the work is. As Olga said, in affiliates all around this country. And I really take that very seriously, this thing of affiliate. You are affiliated with us. You make up who we are. You let us know what we need to be doing. And then I get to have the privilege, the very humble privilege, of being that mouthpiece for you. And I take that very, very seriously. And I hold that very humbly. It's a very, very big honor for me to be able to do that. So I want you to know that I really see that as a shift in how we interact with our affiliates and how we interact with you. So please use us. Tell us what you need. Let us know how we can be more useful to you so that you can then come back out to where you live, where you work, who your people are, and be as effective as absolutely possible. I've been hearing an awful lot of late, especially if you read those damn blogs. I've been hearing an awful lot that the Democrats aren't doing enough, we're wimpy, we're this, we're that, we're like all those things, right? And I sometimes say those things myself, in much more colorful terms, much to my mother's chagrin. But I want you to know that I believe very strongly in this administration and the work that they're doing. As Chuck pointed out some very important things about this administration, I just wanted to say one more thing. No administration has done more for our community than this administration. The list of things this administration has done for us is longer than every other administration combined. Combined. president will say that after we fought for 9 years with the very amazing and heartbreaking work of Judy Shepard on behalf of her son Matthew, and the sisters and family of James Byrd, they worked so hard to pass that hate crimes bill, which was the first federal measure that included the words lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. And before the ink was out of the president's pen, we have bloggers from our own community saying, it's not enough. Well, that doesn't protect enough people. We told this administration that's one of the things we wanted. And we need to trumpet that. We need to let people know how important that is for us to be recognized in federal law. Mind you, coming from such a horrible, horrible thing as the deaths of those 2 men. There is still so much work to do, right? This week was harrowing for us. It was harrowing for us as a community. It was harrowing for us as a staff. It was harrowing for us as an organization. We spent hours crafting the right messages and trying to figure out how can we continue to lift up our people? How can we continue to be supportive and enthusiastic and all those things, knowing that time and again these bad things keep happening. And what I kept hearing was it's Harry Reid's fault. He should have never brought that Don't Ask, Don't Tell bill up the way he did. He's doing that just so he can get rid of it so he can win his election. Okay. Well, let me tell you a little bit of truth. The Republican folks in Congress have held up almost every single bill that keeps getting brought up. There are over 400 bills passed by the House that are being held up by the Senate. There was no way that Don't Ask, Don't Tell was going to survive as a standalone bill. There was no way at all. It had to be part of the Department of Defense bill coming through, right? We know that's how it had to happen. And then the other side is saying, oh, it's not germane. It's not germane. They should have never done that. They should allow us to vote on every little thing. Okay. Well, do you remember when voting on drilling in Anwar was in the defense bill? Or carrying a concealed weapon was in the defense bill across state lines? Or all those other things, some of them, oh, I don't know, the campaign reform being put through by John McCain, who sat there hypocritically last week and said that this had never happened before? Where are our people saying that they're liars? Where are our people calling out the Republicans? Look, this isn't Harry Reid's fault this hasn't passed. This isn't the Democrats' fault that it hasn't passed. If Susan Collins, God bless her soul, had come our way on this, and the 2 Democrats, Blanche Lincoln and Pryor in Arkansas, had also come our way on this, if Susan Collins had done that for us, she stands on the shoulders of the entire majority of the Democrats in the Senate. She stands on their shoulders, and yet they would have taken credit for it, for getting us across the finish line. They didn't bring that bill up. They didn't bring it up for repeal. They didn't work for it. They didn't whip their members. They've done nothing but obstruct us time and time again. You know that, right? So what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? It is us. It is up to us. It is up to you to talk to your neighbors, to talk to your coworkers, and to talk to your family. That's all I'm asking you to do. I'm not asking you to come to Washington in 3-cornered hats or some other silly outfit and claim to be one of the founding fathers. I'm not asking you. I know it's all much bullshit, those people, but the dam was broken. I had to say it. I'm not asking you to do that. I am asking you to do what you can do here. I'm asking you again. You talk to your neighbors. You talk to your coworkers. You talk to your friends. Look, I'm about as out as you get, him notwithstanding. I'm about as out as you get. But I still have a hard time. Sometimes I go to my grocery store in suburban D.C. with my partner. I sometimes have a problem with that. I don't want to have to come out to the woman who's checking us out. I just don't feel like I want to have to do that. But we have to do that. We have to talk about our lives. When they tell us that we're shoving our lives down their throat, you should say, no, I'm just talking about my partner. I'm sorry you find that offensive. When they say that we're trying to push a liberal agenda, say, no, I'm trying to push a human rights agenda. I believe in a constitution that's equality for all, not just for some. Not just for some who are white, not just for some who happen to be male, or happen to be a particular Christian sect, or those who happen to be not gay. I believe in equality for all. Let me tell you something. Equality for all is not easy. It's not. Otherwise, we'd have done it. Right? It's not easy. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel safe. democracy is a messy and wonderful and beautiful process. This great experiment called the American democracy is still an experiment. We still have work to do. That's your job. So I'm just asking you, talk to your neighbors, and talk to your friends, and talk to your coworkers, and elect really wonderful pro-equality Democrats here in San Antonio. And that's what I want you to do, because when you are successful here, we are successful there. We lift you up and celebrate your wins. When Denise Parker won last December, it was, as Chuck said, a shot heard around the world. It was amazing. It lifted people up. There's some little girl out there who never thought that she could be something like mayor of the 4th largest city in the country. Especially if she happened to be out because she might be a little bit of a tomboy or something, right? She didn't think she could be that. She now looks at Denise Parker and knows that she can be that. There's some fey little boy out there who thinks, you know, I can't be on the football team, I can't do this, what am I going to do with my life, I can never be president. Why not? Why not? So please elect those people to elect yourselves